All Blacks forwards coach Jason Ryan and Wallabies head coach Joe Schmidt. The challenge of taking on the Wallabies with two New Zealand coaches in their ranks is not lost on All Blacks forwards coach Jason Ryan ahead of Saturday's clash between the teams in Sydney. If you are a fan of the All Blacks, write "Go All Blacks" in the comments and subscribe to the channel. Wallabies head coach Joe Schmidt was one of former All Blacks boss Ian Foster's assistants during the 2022 and 2023 Test campaigns, while Australia's renowned scrum coach Mike Cron previously worked in a similar role with former New Zealand head coaches Graham Henry and Steve Hansen for more than 200 tests. Prior to joining Schmidt's backroom staff, Cron was a set-piece consultant for World Rugby since 2021, and he also worked with former New Zealand Black Ferns boss Wayne Smith in the build-up to their 2022 Women's Rugby World Cup triumph. Although Ryan enjoyed his time in the All Blacks coaching box with Schmidt, he admits that he has a closer connection with Cron, who he regards as one of his mentors in the game. Probably more so with Crono, I guess, Ryan said. You know, he has been a mentor for a while. Both of them. It's New Zealand coaches, isn't it? So I have enjoyed working with Joe, and obviously Crono has been a mentor. I probably didn't think Cron, would be coaching Australia, to be fair, but one thing I really respected about Crono is that he rang and told me. Schmidt's defection to New Zealand's Trans-Tasman rivals was confirmed in January of this year, while Cron's appointment as the Wallabies scrum coach was announced a little later in April. While news of Cron's addition to the Wallabies coaching staff came as a surprise to many in the rugby world, Ryan revealed that the veteran coach broke the news to him before it was made public. He gave me a heads up before it was public, and I really respect him about that, said Ryan. The All Blacks have been a massive part of his life. So I guess it's the coaching world, isn't it? We're in a game where you just don't know what's next. So, yeah, I have the utmost respect for both of them. Like All Blacks boss Scott Robertson, Schmidt has a 57% win record since taking charge of the Wallabies, following 4 wins and 3 defeats in 7 matches played this year. Ryan believes Schmidt's Wallabies will employ a fast-paced and attacking style of play tactic which the All Blacks will welcome, as they too enjoy doing things at a frenetic speed. I think they will want to play fast, he said. He puts a lot of work into the breakdown side of things, I know that. I think he's had a good influence on their side already, and he knows the game. I have got a lot of respect for him, and I am sure that, come this test, they will be right on. As we will be, too. Before we wrap things up, make sure to subscribe to the channel and hit the bell icon so you don't miss any of the action. There's so much more coming from the All Blacks, and trust me, you won't want to miss it. So, what do you think about the impact of these Kiwi coaches now working with the Wallabies? Let me know your thoughts in the comments below. And I can't wait to see what you think of this huge upcoming Bledisloe Cup clash. Australia v All Blacks. Joe Schmidt ignores pleas to include overseas-based stars as Wallabies get timely double boost. Joe Schmidt has named his 36-player squad for the upcoming tests against New Zealand as part of the Rugby Championship and Bledisloe Cup. Wallabies head coach Joe Schmidt has named his 36-man squad for the upcoming Bledisloe Cup matches against the All Blacks. Australia heads into the 2 tests against New Zealand after a humiliating 67-27 defeat to Argentina. That came after beating the Pumas 19-20 the week before. If you are a fan of the All Blacks, write "Go All Blacks" in the comments and subscribe to the channel. The Wallabies have been dealt a double fitness boost with flanker Fraser McReight and center Hunter Paisami returning from injury after missing the tests against Argentina. McReight also missed the 2 tests against the Springboks after an impressive run of form in July before fracturing his hand. Should Australia stop following the All Blacks' 11 overseas stars that would actually improve Joe Schmidt's Wallabies? Meanwhile, Paisami is still in doubt for the opening test against Scott Robertson's charges, but is tracking well to feature in the return game in Wellington. He sustained the knee injury in the second test against South Africa in Perth. Liam Wright is still struggling with a shoulder injury sustained in July after a relatively fit Super Rugby Pacific season. He's one of 10 players on the injury list, which includes big names like Kurt Beale, David Parecki, and Rob Leota. Despite all this, Joe Schmidt has ignored the calls to look abroad for more talent, keeping Marika Koroibete as the only overseas-based player in the team for the Bledisloe Cup tests. 2 uncapped players are part of the squad this year: Corey Toole, winger, and David Feliui, inside center. Overall, this squad has remained fairly consistent throughout the season. Ex-Wallabies are urging Joe Schmidt to follow Springboks and Argentina's policies and consider overseas players, but Schmidt seems determined to stick to his game plan. The squad will gather in Sydney on Sunday, preparing for the first Bledisloe Cup test next Saturday at Accor Stadium, before heading to Wellington for the second match at Sky Stadium. Schmidt acknowledged the disappointment after the team's last test against Argentina, especially after a solid first 40 minutes. But he's confident the team can turn it around in front of what's expected to be a big home crowd. It's been a long time since Australia tasted Bledisloe success, back in 2002 when they took their 5th title in a row. Now, let's talk about the players set to feature in this much-anticipated clash. The forwards include big names like Alan Alaalatoa, Angus Bell, and Nick Frost. Meanwhile, the backs include Marika Koroibete, Noah Lolesio, and Hunter Paisami. While the injury list is still extensive, the Wallabies are getting some much-needed returns just in time. This Bledisloe Cup series is going to be intense, with both sides having a lot to prove. The All Blacks are coming in strong, and it's always a thrilling encounter when these two rivals meet on the field. If you're as pumped as I am for this showdown, don't forget to hit that subscribe button and turn on the notifications so you never miss an update from the All Blacks channel. We've got loads more rugby content coming your way, and you don't want to miss it. What's your take on Joe Schmidt's decision to not call up more overseas players? Do you think it will impact the Wallabies' performance against the All Blacks? Let us know in the comments below. All Blacks with the Bledisloe Cup in 2023 and hooker Cody Taylor. All Blacks hooker Cody Taylor says that the Bledisloe Cup is not ours anymore ahead of their opening encounter with the Wallabies in Sydney. That is the mentality the front rower insists New Zealand will go into the game with as they look to retain the trophy for yet another season. It has been 22 straight years since Australia last lifted the Bledisloe Cup in 2002, and Joe Schmidt's men will need to win both games if they are to regain the coveted silverware. Despite the All Blacks' mixed results so far under Scott Robertson, they still appear to be in a much better position than their arch-rivals, who were thrashed 67-27 by Argentina last time out in the Rugby Championship. We're playing Australia, that's all the edge you need as a Kiwi. I've personally got a lot of respect for a lot of the boys in that team, but it's black versus yellow, mate. It's going to be a hell of a test, Taylor said. I suppose there's that appropriate fear involved with holding the Bledisloe. But it's not ours anymore. We've got to go out and earn the right, and that's what this week's about. If you are a fan of the All Blacks, right, go All Blacks in the comments and subscribe to the channel. All Black Star reveals the common trend which is harming New Zealand under Scott Robertson. The Wallabies can call upon two people who have excellent knowledge of the All Blacks setup in Schmidt and scrum expert Mike Cron. Schmidt was named Australia head coach earlier this year, having helped New Zealand reach the Rugby World Cup final in 2023. Cron left in 2019 but spent 15 years with the All Blacks, becoming one of most highly regarded set-piece coaches around. Cron done a lot for New Zealand rugby. He's transcended the game for the All Black forward pack and what he did in the past, Taylor said. I'm sure he will be instilling a lot of knowledge in their forward pack and what's ahead this week. He's a bit of a guru, he always has been. He's worked to make sure that he's always innovative in terms of the scrum, so he will be looking at ways to target a few opportunities that he may have seen from us. With Schmitty, I've never seen someone more passionate about the game other than maybe Scotty Hansen. His attention to detail in ensuring that you're in the right place when you need to be is next to none. He will let you know about it if you're not doing your job, but in a way that's for the team and how they can be better. It's a good challenge. We know those coaches really well. They will be preparing to come at us, and that's what you want. Read more. Wallabies star dubs All Blacks as one of the top 2 nations in the world ahead of Bledisloe Cup opener. The All Blacks have lost 3 of their past 4 matches, and hooker Cody Taylor looks at why. Before you go, make sure to subscribe and turn on notifications so you never miss a moment from the All Blacks. We've got tons of exciting content, updates, and news coming your way you don't want to miss out. What do you think about Cody Taylor's take on the upcoming Bledisloe Cup match? Let us know in the comments below. We'd love to hear from you.